What's going on, y'all? All right. Hopefully y'all seen the live video earlier. Pops and I were live about an hour and 26 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Something roughly that. First time going live on YouTube. We got Wi-Fi in the shop at the moment. I brought the hotspot box down from the old house, so it dawned on me this morning that that box could be moved. And I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. But we went live first time on YouTube this morning and hung out for a while as we were getting the frame ready to start building on. And Pops and I have been slinging some tubing. So we've gotten a little bit done. I had to leave for a couple hours to go meet some friends with Holly and the baby. And so I came back, and Pops and I have since put a pretty good bit of bars in. Or not a pretty good bit of bars, but some main structure bars anyway. So we wanted to do a video this evening. I said in the live video I was going to try to do some video and get a video out tonight. So we appreciate y'all watching the live. Appreciate y'all getting on there and commenting and asking us questions. We like talking about racing with anybody. We'll talk about racing lawnmowers if you want to. So Pops and I are in the shop. We're building number 11, which is the North Alabama Speedway Factory Stock Points Champion chassis. So I'll turn the camera around, show y'all what we've gotten done so far, and show y'all what we're about to do. We're gonna get ready to put some more bars in it. So y'all hang out. All right, so as you can tell, we put that bar on in the live feed, and Pops cut out and notched the frame for our 2x2. So we got all that welded in there solid right now because we went ahead and put our support bars in here. Floor pan bars, whatever you want to call them. And we got the rear hoop on just a minute ago. So I didn't show it on the live feed because we hadn't made it yet, but I'm going to show it in this video. I posted some pictures to Facebook. We had some concerns. People were asking about us tying into the control arm mount. Now, we haven't had an issue with any of them ripping off or anything like that on any other cars, and I'll explain why. And I'll explain why those guys don't need to worry about it. But this is the new design. We come back beside the control arm mount and bent up into the rear cross member. Then we put that little kicker there, and this is all 120 wall tubing. So we put that kicker there, and that's what the rear hoop's sitting on. I think that's even stronger because we have a triangle right here. The key to fab being strong is anytime you fab anything is triangulation. That's what makes stuff strong. So the more triangles you have, the more strength you have. So we decided to bring that back and tie into that rear cross member, and we brought it up and bent it into right here. We decided to plate this side and that side like we have in the past. We have it plated this side, but I decided to go ahead and plate this one and bend into it to miss our header.
Anybody knows there's a hole right there.
Yeah, there's a hole in the frame right there from the factory, so we cover that hole up and weld that plate on there. So the reason why the other guys don't need to worry about it is on our other chassis. Let me get right there.
You need me out of the way.
So Pops is getting ready to do a bay bar right here. So on our other chassis, I'll get down here and show you. We brace this rear cross member with 1 1/4 tubing, and it always comes down and sits in this weld right here, this factory crease. A few of them have laid right here on the frame, but the weld for this piece of tubing has capsulated the end of that control arm bracket right there. So I've welded all that solid on cars in the past. Now, a couple of them, we went from here to the top of this mount. So this is braced from here to here, plus this is welded to it, plus all the bracing in the main cage. Now, I don't think any of those guys are going to have an issue. Am I saying it's not possible? Anything is possible. Anything and everything is possible at any given time. I'm not saying 100%. I'm guaranteeing my work not to ever fail, because it will at some point. We're human. We make mistakes. But if you don't change things and you don't listen, you don't evolve, then you get left behind. So we wanted to change it. We wanted to make it beefier. So we made it like this. I threw the idea at Pops. He was all for it. So here we are. So what we're gonna do now is I don't know if we're gonna go ahead and make a bay bar to the front yet, or if we're gonna work on some rear supports back here in the back. I'll tell you one thing I bought that has been a game changer, and y'all are gonna think, well, man, you should have bought one of those a long time ago. Yeah. And you're right, I should have. We've been using these angle finders, and y'all are gonna know what I'm talking about. Them cheap plastic angle finders from Harbor Freight. Our table is a mess.
I cleaned it up.
Anyway, we've been using those plastic angle finders. Intercomp digital angle finder from Speedway. This has been a game changer. Trying to be more precise, y'all. We're trying to get better. We're trying to make our chassis better, trying to make our chassis nicer. And so that's what we're trying to do. If anyone knows of an affordable sandblaster, and we've had the one from Harbor Freight before, the big red stand-up one. It didn't really work well for us. I'd like to get a sandblaster so we can sandblast these frames before we work on them. I think that would change the aesthetics of the chassis a lot better. It'd be easier for us to work on them. So that's my next step. I'm trying to get bigger and bigger and better so we can make these chassis better. But anyway, Pops and I are gonna keep slinging tubing. I'm gonna throw the phone up on the tripod and probably put it on time lapse real quick. And we'll get some bars cut to go back here and get our rear hoop supported before we tie anything on the front of it so it keeps our angle that we've got in it. So y'all hang out with us. We're gonna build a factory stock. All right, so what we were doing, we're making our stands here and our crossbar for the rear. That y'all know we tie our braces into our shock mount, and we tie our brace into the top of the spring perch, which is right here. Pop's already got them ground off, got the anodization off of it, so it welds better, and he's got these marked. So what we'll do is take the plasma and we'll come in here on this round ridge and cut these out, and then those plates, we can center them back, measure them, center them back. All that does is help keep the spring in the pocket better, because y'all know how these metric rear ends are right here. This is just rounded and very small in the center. A spring will sit in there and flop around. So we put those spring pockets in there so it'll help keep that spring where it needs to be. Of course, they're non-adjustable. But I've seen some tracks this year post rules that say you can run adjustable spring buckets. You can't run jack bolts, but you can run an adjustable spring bucket, which in my eyes is the same thing.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, I ain't gonna get into all that. That goes back. Greg Ruffin, buddy, I know you asked about rules earlier today, so add that one to the list. What we're gonna do now, Pop's got down some 083. So we're gonna take some 083 and do our bracing from the rear hoop to that bar there. And that way, that'll help support this. And then once we have those supports in, then we can go forward with bars, and that way it don't move the rear hoop any. So it's easier to put these shorter bars in first and brace all that up. But I'll probably throw it back up on time lapse. I want these videos to be more of us working, but I know there's a lot of things that y'all don't see, but I hate putting it on time lapse continuously. So that's why I do stop the time lapse and do explain what we're doing and show y'all exactly why I'm doing it. So I'm gonna throw it on time lapse. We're gonna make these bars real quick. They usually don't take that long. I say that and I watch these two will take 3 hours. But y'all hang out. We're gonna put some braces in here. All right, y'all. As y'all can see, there's a lot more bars in here than there was earlier. Y'all seen in the time lapse where we put these in, and a lot has happened since then. We got tied up. My nephew, his girlfriend, and his little boy came by, and they hung out for a while. And we just worked while we chatted with them and hung out with them. We try to take as much time as we can with family. So they came by, and we was playing with his little boy, Lee. And Pops and I got to knocking some more bars out. Obviously, we got some more in there. So right now, we're waiting on a customer to come. Wanted to kind of check out one of our cars, one of our builds in progress. And maybe they'll buy a chassis, so get on the list. I think they're wanting to, so hopefully they'll look at it and see that it's what they want and get on the list. They'll be number 16 chassis if they do get on the list. And I'm pretty sure they're coming maybe to put a down payment down. I'm not sure. But this one right here is number 11. So Pops and I have been getting with it, as y'all can tell. One thing about doing the new bar, I'll show y'all this real quick. One thing about doing the new bar like this and going outside the control arm bracket, it kind of offset my dash bar support right here, which, I mean, that's not a big deal. And that's not enough to worry about. I'm not worried about it because the A-pillar from the Halo will actually sit right here. So you have support in here and out here. So it's going to be just fine. That's not a big enough gap to worry about. If it was much bigger than that, if it was in another inch or another inch and a half or so, I would brace with tubing. I'd probably take 1.25 inches and come off right here, parallel in line with this bar, and do like an angle brace down in here and just support that out there a little bit. I could narrow up where my A-pillar bar sits and let it sit on top of that bar, but it would throw me off up here the way I do my windshield bars and stuff like that. So it'll work just fine like it is. But we also brought these more forward so we could get them up more on the flat. As y'all know, these metric frames are doubled. So when you get down there on that double, it kind of, the bars don't want to sit on there good. So we brought them more forward so it got up on the big flat part on both sides, and that way we can get good weld on there. But I wanted to show y'all what we got done. We're gonna hang out for a little bit. Let these guys come hang out and check out the chassis, talk to them, and then we're gonna call it a night. It's been a long day. Pops and I probably hit it hard again tomorrow. Like I said, 3-day weekend. 3-day weekend, we'll get a lot done. So we're trying to get this thing knocked out for the banquet. And the banquet is next Saturday, the 25th. So we're trying. We're going to give it a shot anyway. Once we get it built, I'd like to get it sandblasted before we paint it. If we can't get it sandblasted, then Pops and I will probably be doing going to town with a wire brush. So, but we've done it before. We'll do it again, I guess. But hopefully we can get it sprayed and get it painted. That way it'll be painted for Cody the winter of the chassis. And I've talked to him and told him that we was going to paint it flat black, and he said good, that's what he was going to do anyway. So he did tell me he decided to keep it. So we're glad he's going to race it. But that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to quit rambling. We're going to hang out for a little bit, let them get here, and we're going to go to the house. So hope y'all having a great weekend. Hope y'all have a great Saturday night, great Sunday and Monday. Hope y'all have a good rest of your week. Stay warm. Until next time.
Appreciate it, guys, gals. Thank y'all very much. And like Chris said, stay warm, because it's going to be cold, and check on your elderly neighbors.
For sure.
And till the next time, God bless you.
See y'all.